A good day to everyone. Let me first introduce myself. I am Serge T. Chua Jr., the main author of this paper entitled Augmented Reality in Construction and E-Management Framework for Digital Transformation. My co-authors are Carmela C. Quezana and Jenilyn R. Quinto. We are all affiliated with the School of Architecture, the NU MOA campus, National University, Philippines. To understand the need for a new framework, we must look at the systemic hurdles currently stalling the AEC industry. In the context of the productivity gap, while other sectors have been able to thrive through digitalization, construction productivity has not experienced the same success. The financial drain is exemplified by the cost of errors in construction. The routine rework consumes anywhere between 4 to 12% of the total project cost, which is a major and staggering waste of capital in any large scale development. Perhaps the most alarming is that because 70% of digital transformation initiatives in our industry fail. This isn't a technical gap or glitch. It is actually a systemic barrier to progress. The high failure rate rarely stems from technology itself, but it is not because of how the hardware works, but more because of the fact that we lack e-management frameworks to support it. Being obsessed with technical specs rather than being able to understand the organizational dimensions of e-frameworks. Well, the technology is impressive. Having the best tools isn't enough if you don't have a plan on how to manage them. The technical bias currently for most researchers is that it is focused on the how and the what, specifically hardware limits and software coding. We know a lot about lens clarity and data syncing or synchronizing. The research gap on what is the organizational and management framework. We are deploying sophisticated digital tools into the traditional management structures that aren't designed for it to be handled by them. This misalignment is why management failed to see a real return. Our objective, the goal of this study, is to fill up that void, and we have developed an e-management framework specifically designed for augmented reality, which our focus of which isn't on making the technology work, but on making the technology work for the organization to ensure long-term and scalable success. To address the gaps that we've identified, our study was guided by four clear objectives aimed at turning AR from a technical experiment into a business asset. Number one, developing the framework first. We set out to develop a comprehensive cost-benefit framework. We needed a consistent way to measure not just what the hardware costs, but what the organization actually gains in terms of efficiency and error reduction. Number two, evaluating the feasibilities. Second, we focused on economic feasibility. We wanted to answer the bottom line question: does the math work? We analyze the financial triggers that moved a project from a digital expense to a profitable investment. Number three, identifying success factors. We identified the success factors, and our goal was to find the hidden drivers, such as organizational maturity and training intensity, that separate the 70% of those who failed from the 30% that succeeded. And finally, real world validation. This isn't a theoretical exercise. We validated our findings by applying the framework to four real world construction projects, and this ensured that our conclusions are grounded in the actual complexities of the field. To bridge the management gap, we have identified four critical pillars of e-management, which are e-planning, e-organizing, e-control, and digital leadership. E-planning does not only limit itself to the purchase of the software, but the allocating of specific resources, most importantly, establishing realistic investment timelines. E-organizing involves itself with the human side of the equation, involving restructuring teams and workflows to align with the digital tools, while e-control focuses on the establishment of performance metrics and continuous feedback loops. It allows the tracking of whether the technology is actually reducing errors or if it is just adding on a layer of complexity. However, digital leadership is the north star of the framework, and it is about the cultivation or cultivating a vision and a digitally literate culture from the top down. Leaders must not only support the tech, but also understand how it changes the culture. This research employed a mixed methods approach, gathering 32 empirical studies for literature review with data extraction and normalization of the different metrics gathered from the literature, eventually leading to a framework development and the identification of four pillars for the framework, namely planning, e-organizing, e-control, and digital leadership. Finally, all the data and framework was set against a case study validation of four real-world projects. Now that we've established the management framework, let's look at where the rubber meets the road and how augmented reality actually is applied on site and what the measurable results could be. For design visualization, this is where AR allows stakeholders to overlay three-dimensional BIM models directly onto the physical site. This is not just looking at a 3D model, but identifying the spatial conflicts before a single piece of steel is laid. It moves the clash detection feature of most BIM softwares from the office trailer to the actual field. Uh, Insofar as assembly guidance is concerned, we think of this as digital instructions for complex installations, wherein workers see precisely when a bracket or where a bracket needs to be bolted or how a duct should be hung. This reduces the cognitive load of the workforce and ensures that the physical build matches the digital exactly. Quality inspection and facility management, where AR allows for real-time verification. Inspectors can compare as-built structures against as-designed models instantly, carrying over into facility management, where maintenance teams can see through walls to locate pipes or electrical conduits, drastically reducing the time spent searching for hidden infrastructure, while safety training allows AR to provide a risk-free environment for workers to practice high-risk maneuvers and identify site hazards. It bridges the gap between classroom learning and the high-pressure reality of a construction site. One of the biggest hurdles to AR adoption is the uncertainty surrounding costs. To clear this up, the framework breaks down the investment into two clear categories: capital expenditure, CapEx, or and operational expenditure, known as OpEx. For the initial investment in CapEx, we enumerate the following: hardware procurement accounts, software licensing, systems integration, wherein this is the critical work of making sure that the AR software actually talks to your existing BIM models and project management databases. And finally, under CapEx, we have training and documentation that this ensures the team actually knows how to use the new tools from day one. For ongoing costs or at OpEx, this is timely when the system becomes alive. We transition to OpEx. Hardware maintenance is a significant recurring cost. Technical support is another key factor. Our research shows that support needs are highest in the first 3 months of the implementation period, or what we call the learning curve period. Understanding this split is vital for financial planning by knowing that nearly 20% of your startup costs is generation, is integration, and 12% is training, managers can avoid the common mistake of spending their entire budget on hardware and having no resources left to actually make the system work. To justify the investment, we must look beyond the initial cost and track the economic indicators that define a successful rollout. This involves understanding how benefits evolve over time and when the system actually pays or starts to pay for itself. The benefit S curve is important to manage expectations regarding the timeline or results. We track this using the benefit S curve, where in months 0 to 6, we find that this is the initial setup stage and benefits are minimal because this is actually the learning phase where the team is still adjusting to the new workflow. Month 7 to 18 is where we actually see a substantial acceleration as proficiency increases and efficiency gains from the framework becoming much more visible. Number two, the financial metrics. To quantify these gains, we focus on three primary KPIs. Primarily, the first KPI is the net present value. The second one is internal rate of return. And the third one is the payback period. Data confirms that the economic success of augmented reality is not universal. It really depends on the project scale and specific application. And here are the three core findings from our financial analysis. Um, the initial capex, like system integration and software licensing, is largely a fixed cost. Larger projects allow you to amortize these expenses across a much broader scope or on a massive scale, massive development. The efficiency gains quickly outweigh the startup costs. The S-curve growth. We must remember that AR benefits follow an S-curve growth pattern. Proficiency isn't instant. You will see a slow start in the first 6 months, followed by a period of rapid acceleration as the team masters the interface. If you judge the system success too early, you will miss the window where the most substantial value is actually generated. Finally, our research identified the sweet spots for the highest immediate returns. Assembly guidance. This provides the most beneficial and most significant reduction in manual errors by overlaying digital instructions onto physical components. We see a drastic cut on rework costs. For facilities management, this is where long-term value lies by identifying by reduction of time for looking for or visualizing hidden infrastructure. As we conclude, it is vital to shift our focus from the technical how-to the managerial SOA. The data provided from our framework leads to the three definitive conclusions for industry leaders and project managers. First one is to prioritize people over hardware. This is the most critical implication that we must prioritize people over hardware. It is always tempting to buy the most expensive, high spec headsets, but our research shows that organizational maturity and user adoption have a far greater impact on the outcomes, economic or otherwise, than the technical specs. Number two, we need a secure financial runway. Management must secure a financial runway for this framework to work. Digital transformation is not an overnight win-win situation, but based on RROI modeling, firms must be prepared for negative cash flow through at least the first 12 months of implementation. This is the learning curve as discussed in the previous slides, uh, where costs are high and efficiency gains are still stabilizing. Strategic patience is required to reach for till the break-even point, which typically occurs in the second year. In summary, the transition to augmented reality should not be a leap of faith, but rather a structured e-management approach, focusing on planning, organizing, controlling, and leadership. This will provide the necessary metrics and decision making to de risk the process.